Ever heard the saying, you reap what you sow? Well, get this. Studies show that when people update their mental programming for success, they are 42% more likely to achieve their financial goals. In this 4-part September saga that I am doing in celebration of my birthday month and my brand new Make More and Work Less guided workbook course that's coming out. I will be guiding you to cultivate your mind like a pro farmer so you can watch the seeds of abundance sprout into a bountiful, beautiful harvest of wealth for yourself and the greater good of all. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? This is your host, Tiffany Carter, and welcome to the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your relationships, your abundance, and everything in between. Now, if you've been listening to me, you can probably tell that I don't normally sound 25 octaves deeper in my voice. I wish that I could start some kind of a passive income stream using this sick voice of mine, but I don't think it's very sexy. So what are you going to do? But I want to use this as an example for you. I could have made the decision to postpone this special 4-part September saga that I'm doing in celebration of my birthday month and in celebration for my Make More and Work Less printable guided workbook course that is coming out this month that you guys have in the next couple of episodes. This is your last chance to be able to get that for free, and then it will be for sale. I even made this more of a major thing. So not that it wasn't enough already that I was doing this first ever workbook for you guys, but I've turned it into a course. So you're getting audios and videos that go with this course. You can get it right now for free as long as you leave a written Apple Podcast review of the show, take a screenshot, and in the review, make sure you put your name, Instagram, TikTok handle if you don't want to put your full name. Some people are private. You don't want to. That's fine. Take a screenshot and then email it to us at support@projectmewithtiffany.com. And as soon as they are ready, we will send them out to you. You can swipe up and the instructions, the email are right there in the show notes. It's also in the description here on YouTube, Project Me TV. And you get to see my fun hat that I'm wearing for this Magnetic Wealth Mastery series. If you go over on YouTube, I think it's really cute and it hides the fact that I haven't showered. What I want to use as an example is the action of manifestation. I'm doing it right now. Did I have to show up for this series? No, I could have postponed this series and all of you would have graciously understood. And I would have found grace for myself as well. But instead, I looked at it like, okay, we are going to prioritize my vitality, my healing, my health, all of that, and then reassess my energetic state. And if I have energy reserves left over where I feel this isn't going to be more of me putting out, but actually I'm going to get more energy and get more abundance in return. Because typically when we get sick, it's because our giveth to receiveth ratio is off. So any of you who are getting body signals, you're achy, you're sore, that lower back pain is back, maybe you have a cold, your allergies are flaring, you may have your skin may have broken out, your body is signaling something to you. And typically most people who listen to the show and who are attracted to me, because like attracts like, you guys are overgivers and you have been giving out in your business, giving out to kids, giving out in your personal life, giving out to your partner, giving out to work, giving out to society, and you don't have enough coming back in. So when I say show up regardless, and you'll hear me say this a lot throughout this special 4-part saga. I love how dramatic saga is, by the way. That's why I came up with that. I mean, also, I wanted an S word to go with September because I love a good alliteration. But like, I wanted something dramatic too and like powerful because why not? So when we show up regardless, that doesn't mean to further deplete ourselves. That doesn't mean to exhaust ourselves. That doesn't mean to disregard ourselves. When I say that, what I mean is we show up in an abundant state and do a self-assessment. So you don't need to do more or be more in order to have more. What you need to do is actually focus on doing fewer things really well with great intention, focus, and faith. So I did a full inventory of myself. And I was like, you know what? I love what I do. This is why I love teaching you guys to monetize your passions, monetize something that you genuinely love doing and love helping people with. Because then when you do put out, it doesn't feel depleting. It actually feels abundant. It actually revives you. It actually gives you more energy back. Now, are you going to see me today like reading through contracts and running through financials and da, 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 da? No, because not all of those activities would be draining to me in this state. And we're not about that life. So I wanted you to see in real time. And if you, again, you're a subscriber, and if you're not a subscriber, go freaking subscribe to Project Me TV. This is the way I'll also know that you really like seeing the show on TV. And then I will invest more money in it, and we'll do live guests. We'll put a lot more skin in the game, but I need to see and hear that feedback. And then on there, you guys can comment in real time when you're listening, which can help integrate a lot of the things that I'm teaching you here. If you've not done that Apple podcast review, I would probably pause right now and go do it. It takes 30 seconds. If you don't know how to do it, you can Google it. Of course, Apple doesn't make it obvious, which is annoying. And go do it, get the screenshot. Like I said, the instructions are in the show notes. So that's done with, and submit it to us, because I don't want you missing out. Because I am going to be selling this course very soon, and it's crazy for you to not get it. And also show your appreciation and abundance for the show. So this saga that I came up with, I want you to look at it as your crash course to get your body, brain, and energetic field in alignment for maximum abundance. As we're entering the fall season, also known as harvest season, this is the best time to clean out the debris in your mental field, to nurture your mind and lay an ideal foundation where you know without a doubt you will have a thriving, abundant harvest this year. So I am going to be leaning heavy into that analogy. And that is one thing that I do a lot in order to help really cement things into your mind and help you really not just learn things. You don't need more information. You need implementation of the information. But first, you have to absorb it. And that's why there's room for so many of us to teach versions of the same thing, because we all have a different take. We all have a little bit of a unique way. And my way and my style and my tone of voice and my choice of words and my storytelling and my use of analogies is something that helps you absorb it there. That way you can implement it. Like, for example, what is the guy's name? Is it Eckhart Tolle? This man is brilliant. I can't listen. I can't read it. It's far too intelligent sounding to me. It's far too like Harvard professor sounding, and I totally zone out. I need someone who's more blunt. But obviously, millions and millions and millions of people love his work and resonate with it. So anything that comes up from you during this where you're like, well, I don't know if I can really get to where I want to go with what I'm doing, Tiffany. I don't know if that's really possible, if I can do that. Like, please be open and trust the order of this series and listen to all 4 parts, because the reason why I started with part 1 of harvesting prosperity, if we do not make sure that soil has been sowed, as they say, tended to, nurtured, fertilized, we get rid of all the garbage, we make sure that it is a breeding ground that is ready to absorb those seeds and create the most abundant crops. Some stuff might grow, but it'll be shit, or it'll grow and then it will die, which a lot of you are having that happen when it comes to your business and your money life. Is you might get some money, get a bonus, make some sales. This might happen over here. This might be a good month. And then nothing will happen. Then it all goes flat again. Or maybe you're stuck at a plateau and nothing is you have a corn growing and nothing, it's growing like 3-4 inches, but it's not getting to where it really needs to be, like 5-6 feet tall. So this is the missing link for that. We need to keep everything simple. Simplicity sells, complexity repels. And that is true for us really reprogramming the mind. All we're doing is upgrading software that's in here. It's like an app on your phone. You have an app that's running that has some bugs in it, and the bugs are very annoying. It's frustrating. It's causing the app to crash. It's causing it to get stuck. It's causing it to freeze. It's causing it to not work. And I am the conduit for you in this case to implement an upgrade so that you're operating optimally. You've not been operating that way, and it's not your fault. This is stuff that you've picked up from childhood, stuff you picked up from significant relationships, jobs, circumstances, friends, society, media, schooling, all along the way. And there's a lot of crap in there that we have to get rid of, because if we don't get rid of it, nothing can really grow. And then when nothing grows, it just goes in that cycle again. Well, nothing's growing. This isn't working. And then it just creates that self-fulfilling prophecy that this isn't working. It works for other people. It doesn't work for me. Well, we've not cleaned out all the crap yet. So first things first, and I'm sticking with these 3 things for this first episode. Less is more. You do not need to do more. Please hear me out on that. The energy of doing more is actually a scarcity, fear-based energy. I've got to do longer workouts. I've got to work more hours. I've got to make more of this. I've got to have more programs. I've got to be skinnier. I've got to have more certifications. I've got to do more content. I've got to write more videos. I need more hashtags. I need more connections. I need da 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 da. Do you see how that energy, even when you heard me saying it, it's very stressful. If you're getting any kind of a stress response with the stuff you're doing and the stuff you're thinking, it's coming from scarcity. That's not coming from a space of abundance. A space of abundance is, okay, let's clear this whole field. Okay. Picture you have acres and acres, whatever country you're in. I know we all use different terminology, but you have acres and acres, kilometers and kilometers, miles and miles of fields, and you want to create your most bountiful harvest this year. You're not just going to even though you don't know anything about farming, and quite frankly, I do know some because I grew up in the Midwest in the US, but I really don't know I don't know much. But it's simple, so I can still use it as an analogy. You can't just take some dry ass soil that's been neglected, that has weeds in it and God knows what else, and expect something to grow. That doesn't make sense, or to at least grow well. First things first. And I don't want you skipping ahead and focusing on the other 2 things. I need you to stay in the step that we're at, because when you start going too many steps ahead and think too many processes ahead, now you're future tripping. Now you're going to create anxiety for yourself. Now the whole picture is going to seem like it's too much work. Now the thought of all the different steps you have to do to nurture this soil and prep it for, being able to grow the best crops is going to feel like such a daunting task to you that you'll freeze, you'll get an analysis paralysis, you'll procrastinate, you'll go into all of those protective behaviors and nothing will happen. So first, we're focusing on less is more. What do we need to do? We first need to clear everything out. Clear out the crap that's going on in your mind. I want you to visualize that whether you're doing it by hand or you're riding a giant tractor, if that feels better to you, where you are going through and turning that soil over. And I don't know if you've seen those machines that do it, but they literally are going and raking all of that soil and flipping it over, all the dry, crusty shit with the weeds on the top. And it's flipping over and getting to that root, getting to that rich, dense, moist. Ew, I said the word moist. Sorry, but I did say it. So we're going with it. Soil that's beneath the surface. So let's We got to move all this energy up, move it all up. That's why I have you guys do these abundant walks. So I need you to move it. Some of you need to get it out of your body. That's why I'm always about movement, manifestation. Hopefully you're moving while listening to this. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm moving my arms. You can be doing it in the car. It's still safe. You can do it with one arm. I don't care if you look crazy. Some of you need to shake. Some of you need to stretch. Some of you need to do more than that. But I want you to picture yourself doing that with all of these crap thoughts and turning them over and say to yourself, I'm willing to start from a brand new slate. All the things that I was taught about money, about success, about wealth, even the ones that you believe are true, they're all gone right now. We're starting from a full blank slate because your operating system, your app software had so many bugs in it that we have to start from scratch in order for it to best work efficiently. And I know you have some beliefs around money that are actually really good and success that are good. That's okay. They'll come back. Don't worry about that. You're not going to lose those. Those will come back right away. Just like the nutrients in the soil that are already existing, they're not going anywhere. We're not pouring like pesticides and chemicals on it. They're going to still stay there. We want those nutrients to cultivate more nutrients and grow more nutrients and grow more of those thoughts. We want to use the energy. Even if you have 10% of your thoughts are actually abundant thoughts, we can use that to create more. So really sit and visualize that. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, Tiff. I commit. I'm starting at a blank slate. Number 2, we need to get clear on your desires. What specific crops do you want to see grow? Wouldn't it be weird if I went to go tend to this soil? You inherited land, farmland that was worth a crap ton of money. And it's an avocado farm or it grows corn or whatever. And if you were like, oh, I'm going to tend to this soil, but I don't even know what's going to pop out of it, like what's even going to grow from it. That's weird, because how you prepare the soil for grapes, how you prepare the soil for corn, how you prepare the soil for avocado trees, how you prepare the soil for strawberries is all very different. And the things that you need to tend to. A big part of you isn't specific and detailed enough with what you want. And this is going to be a shooketh moment for you. So you're going to need to like DM me on Instagram at Project Me with Tiffany or TikTok at Project Me with Tiffany and let me know if this was a shooketh moment. You speak what you want still in a lot of generalities, because being so specific about it feels vulnerable and makes it more real. And it's a subconscious way of protecting yourself from being disappointed if it doesn't happen. It's very sneaky. So I'm not saying you have to like say the exact dollar amount that you want in the bank. It doesn't need, I don't mean that. An example would be this. This is what I'm going to use for myself because this manifestation's already happened about my podcast. So it'd be like me saying, I want my podcast to be super successful, heard by millions all over the world. Okay, that's lovely, but that's not specific enough. I want because yeah, I mean, eventually, right? I mean, that's millions, there's a lot of millions in there till we get to a trillion. So what does that mean? I want my podcast to peak and continue to peak, growing, where there's just mass amounts of downloads and people are getting just incredible help and incredible breakthroughs from listening, and they're eager for the next episode to come out, and they're sharing the show with people that they love because they found it so helpful and so real and so raw and so refreshing and so entertaining, and they can't believe that they didn't know about this episode before, and they're so grateful it's in their life. That's what I mean. But that's a lot more vulnerable to say that. And I resisted saying that. What I really wanted, I didn't realize I was doing this until I really was doing more subconscious work. because I did not want that to not happen. And then I'd be really upset. So it was easier for me to kind of be general, you know? It's a form of toe dipping. So get really clear on the crops. What is it? I want to be able to make money selling my intellectual property, my skill set, my knowledge. And I want to be able to make so much money that I can quit my job. I want to be able to, my next goal is to be making $25,000 a month. I want to be able to make money doing blank, or I want my business to go to this next level. Get really specific, because then we can reverse engineer it. We can't prep that soil for it, and we can't be an energetic match to what we don't state as our desire. And if you notice you're resisting stating your desires in detail or even in generality, you're still trying to protect yourself. This is when I hear people say, well, what if I don't know what I want? And I've been there. A lot of people don't know that about me. I didn't even know what my favorite color was for most of my life, which if you follow me on Instagram, it's laughable, like how obsessed I am with the color purple. I think that's also why I'm so enthralled by the color purple, as I say that with my purple nails here on YouTube, because I finally delighted and realized what my favorite color was. When you're raised in an environment where your main job is to keep everyone else happy and your needs really don't matter, we then don't develop things like fully develop in detail our dreams, fully develop in detail our favorite hobbies or favorite colors. And it's okay if you don't know. But what's not okay is to continue buying into that story of, well, I don't know, Tiffany. I think I know, but I'm not sure. That's not going to get you anywhere. I need you to commit to getting clear on what crops you want. Okay, so maybe you inherited all of this land, but you're not sure what you want to grow on it. Well, wouldn't a good idea be to see what your options are? Let's go take a look and peruse what the options are. Do I want strawberries? Do I want avocados? Do I want a citrus farm? What do I want here? Do I want to make wine? Go see what your options are and see how they feel to you. I'm someone that you can listen to various guests on my podcast, notice people doing things that are in your area of expertise or skill set that sound really interesting to you. What is it that defines freedom for you? What does that mean? Like for me, it's being able to wear whatever I want, work whenever I want, however I want, and from anywhere in the world that I want. I'm all about freedom because I grew up in an abusive household and I felt trapped all the time. And I also felt trapped in corporate world for the same reason. So for me, I need to feel that sense of freedom. When I feel freedom, I'm expansive, and then my income's expansive. There's a reason why I capped out in corporate and I capped out in my first business, because I was in a trapped environment. And you can be creating a trapped environment in your own business. I did it with my first one, and I had to turn over all of that soil because I created my own self-imposed prison. Okay, third thing, stacking the odds and setting the stage so that the soil you have is going to yield the results you desire. We want to stack the odds in your favor. Are there guarantees in life? Actually, there's one. If you don't do anything, if you don't make any moves, if you don't do anything different, nothing will change. Right? So, I mean, things could change, I guess. Things could get worse. Things could get more uncomfortable for you. But yeah, all of this is a risk. We're not God. No matter if you're a multi-generational expert farmer, you can't control the weather. You could have seasons. This is why in the wine industry, if you're into wine, there's certain years that are much more what's the right word? Lucrative than others because the soil, the conditions were just right, the weather, and there's others that were a total bust because we can't control that. There's some things you can do to offset it and manage it, but that's about it. So we want to make sure we're stacking the odds in your favor of succeeding. And it also is your palette for going all in. So if I were starting pretty new in business, or I was at a spot in business where I felt stuck, absolutely, I would hire someone like me. And my fall applications for my 2-month private business coaching program will be opening soon. Right now, I think there's 1 or 2 tickets left for my 2-day in-person business mastermind event. And that's the last chance to work with me in person live for a long time. That's a no-brainer. Like whether you're driving to me in Los Angeles or you're getting on a flight, that will change your life. I'm confident of that, unless you come in with so much resistance and cling to your story and you don't want to do anything. That'll change your life. They'll be the best investment and it's a tax write-off. I mean, normally I charge $10,000 and you can get it for $3,500. That link is also in the show notes. There's my Project Me Posse business coaching membership. That's an option for you. But I would stack the odds by getting help from someone who's already doing it to help me at some level. I mean, you're doing it now also by listening to the podcast. So I commend you. It's by you doing these exercises that are in here and getting intentional and deliberate. It's you prioritizing this work of tending to the soil, of doing a program update, even though it's going to feel tedious sometimes, even though you're going to get mentally lazy and resistant sometimes because it's something new and our nervous systems read new a lot of times as scary, as hard, as, don't do it. And it can push back against you. And you've got to want it bad enough to push back and say, no, we're still doing this. I know you might not like it right now, but we're still doing this. We're still doing this. And that's setting it up in your favor. And some people go the slow route, which if that feels good to you, that's okay. And take baby steps. And some people are like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of where I'm at and wasting all this time. And I only get one life. And time is something I can't get back. And I can't keep going at this pace. And I can't keep operating this way. Yeah, I'm making money, but I'm exhausted. And this is not something I can keep doing. Well, then you've got to make some all-in moves and some all-in actions. There's no other way around it. Clearly, Chubbs agrees if you can hear him in the background. So I want you to do that exercise. I want you to get clear. You can write this out. I prefer you writing it out, but if you are someone who's just not going to do that, that's okay. I'm typically not someone who writes everything out. Even on an index card, what crops? What are the crops? And really commit to believing that less is more. Really sink into that belief and practice that belief over and over again. Even if you're saying, just for this 4-part series, Tiffany, I'm going to choose to experiment with this and I'm going to choose to believe you for this 4-part series. That's even okay. I'll even take that. And if you're loving this part 1 so far, take a screenshot, share it on Instagram at Project Me with Tiffany, or on Facebook, same thing at Project Me with Tiffany. Pass it on to a friend, have someone else do this 4-part series with you, kind of like a podcast book club. And it also keeps you accountable. It's a fun thing you can do with a partner as well. And don't forget, swipe up. All the stuff's in the show notes. And make sure you leave that review so you can get your special gift. I look forward to talking to you and seeing you for part 2.